sports to so many of those blockbusters that just wouldn't be the same without his music. Jaws, Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so many others. Don't miss this opportunity to experience the movie music of John Williams played live and in a former movie palace. Visit MSO.org for tickets or call the box office now at 414-291-7605.
Join Trees on the Move this weekend from 9 to 4 for our annual Mother's Day sale with savings up to 30% on selected nursery stock. Maples, linden, birch, ornamental trees, flowering crab, and all varieties of evergreens. There's over 20,000 trees to choose from. Our landscape architects will be on hand to answer all of your patio, retaining wall, and backyard questions. Call 262-679-5200 for more info or see treesonthemove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
One more time.
Wisconsin State Fair is August 1st to the 11th. We'll be out there. I know we'll have some shows at the Wisconsin State Fair this year. Not exactly sure if we'll be out there or not. I think we will be, Jessica. We're trying to figure that out, I think, at this point. But always a great time. We do have our broadcast location, so please stop by and say hello if you're out there during the run of the fair, August 1st through the 11th. And we've got a pair of grandstand tickets to give away. This is for a show coming to the Wisconsin State Fair. In fact, on our program here, we already gave away tickets to Young Gravy. We've got a couple tickets to give away for the Kids Pop concert. That'll be there during the run of the fair. So check it out, the Bank 5-9 stage at Wisconsin State Fair Park, caller number 4. We've got a pair of VIP grandstand tickets for you at 855-616-1620. That is coming up here. I know we got Summerfest coming up first, but as we start to flip the calendar here to May, things speed up, I feel like, until you get to September.
I know. Summer in Milwaukee, summer in southeastern Wisconsin, summer across Wisconsin goes way too fast. We wait for it all year, and then it's here, and then it's gone. So you got to just take a moment and savor it.
Wisconsin State Fair, August 1st through the 11th. Please enjoy it and say hello to us during the run of the fair. Before you know it, Cream Puffs will be here, the Sporky nominations with all that kind of stuff. All good things to make you think of summer. Coming up, Wisconsin's midday news departs and Spanning the State steps in. A reminder, Bucks basketball tonight here on WTMJ. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock. So if you're looking for Brewers baseball, you'll be able to find that on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 6:05. And we'll have a short show tomorrow due to an afternoon game. Brewers and Rays finishing up their 3-game series. 12:58 on WTMJ. News coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhardt.
153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. Only $250 for standard installation. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Hey, Mother's Day is almost here. Just think about how much your lovely mother means to you. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Take your mom to the brunch buffet at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant. Mother's Day is one of the most special holidays of the year at the Fox and Hounds. The brunch buffet is everything Mom loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including prime rib and an entire room of delicious desserts. And it's all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. How fun is that? Choose from over 100 wines and delicious cocktails to accent your Mother's Day brunch. The Fox and Hound sits in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is stunning. Reservations are required. Tables fill quickly for Mother's Day, so reserve today at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill to Spring Drive, is just beautiful. Happy Mother's Day. Serving from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Reserve today. It's the famous famous and delicious Fox and Hounds.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The Bucks are back in Milwaukee, and tonight they have to fight to survive.
He's going to turn around, fades and fires, cash money. Chris Middleton with a silky smooth fading jump shot.
Game 5 of round 1 against the Pacers begins tonight at 8 on your home of the Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 60 degrees. Scattered showers tonight with a low of 53. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a high of 72. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Greg Matzik. Charges filed after a woman was found dead in a car trunk near 29th and Ruby on Milwaukee's north side earlier this month. Jared Stewart is charged with first-degree reckless homicide connected to Tomitka Stewart's death April 17th, as well as felony bail jumping. An autopsy revealed Stewart was stabbed 49 times. Court records indicate Jared Stewart is not in custody connected to these charges. Staying in custody. This is the second time a Manitowoc judge denies Katrina Bauer's release from jail, this time on a signature bond. Bauer is the mother of missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu of Two Rivers. The judge says there is too much at stake and too many unanswered questions. There was also a significant risk of Bauer not appearing for court. Bauer charged with felony chronic neglect of a child, but not with Vu's disappearance. Vu has been missing since February 20th. The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruling former Milwaukee police officer Eric Andrade was properly fired for posting racist memes related to the 2018 arrest of then Milwaukee Buck Sterling Brown.
Taser, taser, taser!
The video of the tasing and arrest of the former Bucks forward in a Walgreens parking lot sparked public outcry and led to Officer Andrade's firing by then Police Chief Alfonso Morales. Today, the High Court ruling Morales properly examined the evidence that supported firing Andrade and gave him a chance to respond. Under a 2021 settlement, the city paid Brown $750,000 and publicly apologized. Attorneys for Andrade and for the Milwaukee Board of Fire and Police Commissioners had no immediate comment. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
And protest encampments remain at UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee today, despite repeated statements from administration at both schools that camping is prohibited on campus grounds. UW-Madison says once the encampment on the library mall is cleared, they stand ready to meet with campus-based organizers to discuss demands. UWM leaders asked students to respect each other's diverse viewpoints as well as the law. And Alverno College on Milwaukee's south side is facing a 2024 fiscal deficit of $9 million. It's actually a run deficit 4 years of the last 5. The school plans to recommend eliminating some programs and even staff cuts. Alverno joins a growing list of area colleges facing financial troubles. Concordia University, Wisconsin announced earlier this month they would cut 27 staff positions. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down today 311 points at 38,074. S&P 500 down 36 points at 5,079. And the NASDAQ off 147 points at 15,835. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:03.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Did you hear about the HVAC technician's argument? It got pretty heated, but then things cooled off. Yeah, I guess you could say that I'm a fan of AC jokes. But sky-high utility bills? Well, that's no laughing matter. Hi, this is Steve from Mr. Holland's Home Services. You know what else isn't funny? Big repair bills for your furnace and air conditioner. Paying full price, and high interest payments. Don't be an April Fool. This month, let Mr. Holland's Home Services replace your old, inefficient, money-guzzling AC and furnace for less than full price and get up to 24 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Hey, why did the air conditioner sweat? Well, you'd be sweating too if you had to run all day. I'm here all week, folks. Call 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If your high energy bills are no joke, we can help.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this. Who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated? Might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. Giannis and Damian Lillard both listed as doubtful on the Bucks injury report. Bucks take on the Pacers tonight in Game 5 of their best-of-7 playoff series. Here tonight's game on WTMJ beginning at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Brewers aim to snap a 3-game losing streak tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Rays. Here tonight's game on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at 6:05. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic update. Notable spot of a slowdown is 43 southbound Brown Deer to downtown. This has become the typical ride through the construction zone. Now a 14-minute ride, and normally that's about an 11-minute ride when the orange barrels aren't present. 894 westbound Mitchell to the Hale. You're tapping on the brakes there. Normally a 6-minute ride. That's going to run you 9 today. Otherwise, standard travel times across the system on a sunny Tuesday afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Mostly sunny the rest of the day. A lake breeze later on with a high of 71 near the lake. 71 inland, 67 near the lake. Scattered showers tonight, a low of 53. Partly cloudy for your Wednesday with a high of 72. We stay in the high 60s to low 70s throughout the rest of the weekend. Into the weekend, slight chance of rain Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday. Right now, it is 64 degrees and sunny in Madison, 55 and cloudy in Green Bay, 62 in Waukesha, and 63 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik, Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:07.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon, and it is Tuesday, and we have a new segment called Giving Tuesdays. We wanted a vehicle to talk about the good news, the good organizations, and the good people doing good across the state. So we are going to bring you a story about Heartorama up in Two Rivers this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And we have some Wisconsin State Fair main stage tickets to give away. We have 2 pairs of VIP tickets, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out to which show.
Very nice. Is it just me, or are we just full of segments now? We have great segments.
We have great segments, the best segments.
Speaking of that, after 2 o'clock, of course, we're going to take a spin around the state to share some stories you may have missed. Then we will talk about a troubling statistic in the education system regarding teachers, and how worried should we be about Wisconsin's tornado season. All of that coming up.
Coming up. But first, last week, state lawmakers from the Green Bay area, local elected officials, former inmates, and advocates gathered at the Capitol to ask the legislature and the governor to include in this next state budget a year from now to plan to shut down the Green Bay Correctional Institute. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about prisons and Wisconsin's prison problem on this show previously, and if you think about, I remember driving up from Madison, always going to Wisconsin Rapids and always driving by Waupun. I don't think I've actually seen the Green Bay Correctional Institute.
They tend not to put them right next to the highway.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, Waupun is.
But not the Correctional Institute.
The Waupun prison, you pass it on the highway, yeah. And so the Green Bay Correctional Institute is GBCI was built during the Spanish-American War, so it's 126 years old.
Okay, that doesn't seem
old.
Up to date.
And 95% of it needs enhanced repair.
That's, again, I'm not a math major. That's a lot.
It's a lot. So there was a 2020 report that detailed a lot of problems. Included security concerns, leaky plumbing, non-compliance with the ADA. And then there was an older report that said the cost of replacing Green Bay would be about $500 million.
Well, you've got to figure a building that's 126 years old, the plumbing can't be, even no matter when they put it in, it's got to be everything. Is there even air conditioning? Is there and all that kind of stuff?
But on top, so it's failed all the major prison codes relating to construction and operation. But on top of that, it's also overcrowded.
Right.
There's about 300 more people. There's about 1,000 people are locked up in Green Bay. It's meant to hold about 750.
Right.
And it's also, which is the part that we've talked about previously on the show, is understaffed. And so close to 30% of the of the correctional officers they need are open right now.
Yeah. That's a tough job. I don't know how you fix that part of it. How do you sell that other than salary and benefits?
And they did. And so the last budget, that was part of it as far as giving raises. And so we've not necessarily even seen a full year yet since there's been a raise as far as what that's the impact that's had on recruitment. But for now, it's still understaffed. So this is not a new problem, though.
Right.
I think it's newer as far as how much media attention it's starting to get. But it's something that our guest that we talked to when we come back has been working on for close to a decade. So when we come back, we'll play our interview with Alloway Village Board President Jim Rafter, who's been working on trying to get this fixed for almost a decade.
Well, it's good to see he's just starting things out.
Yeah, he's dedicated. Yeah. All right, so stay tuned for that interview after this.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
When you come to Kendor Marine, you'll find parts you didn't even know you needed. And if you're a boating enthusiast, like I know you are, then you're going to love wandering the aisles here. We've staked our reputation on thinking just like you. So we know what you need now and what you're going to need later to keep your boat in tip-top shape. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
We have the go-to marine store. And it's not just because we have all the boat parts and supplies you'll ever need, including oddball parts you thought you'd never be able to find. And it's also because we're cheaper than the other guys, too. So why shop anywhere else? This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It's spanning the state. All right, we're getting conflicting reports. Kristen mentioned that she sees a prison right on the road near Waupun. I said mistakenly that the GBCI probably wasn't near the road, but somebody texted in, yes, the GBCI is on the highway. But then, and somebody said, so is Waupun. But then somebody else said, Waupun Prison is not visible from the highway. So, who knows? You know where? Yeah, listen, we're talking about the GBCI. You know that's in Green Bay.
We do. Well, it's in Alloway.
Alloway.
And so last week, state lawmakers from the area and local officials and inmates and advocates gathered at the Capitol. And so we wanted a chance to talk to a man who's been working on this issue for close to a decade, because it's finally getting the attention I think it deserves. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of movement, despite the fact that it's 126 years old. 95% of the building needs repair. It's over capacity by around 300 people, and 30% of the correctional officers they need are currently remain empty. Right. And so we got a chance to talk to Alloway Village President Jim Rafter, who's been spending the better part of a decade trying to get this closed, this prison closed. And so we've edited the conversation down, but if you want to listen to the whole thing, we are also going to post this as a podcast on WTMJ.com under Spanning the State. But here's our conversation with Alloway Village President Jim Rafter. How did you get so involved in this as the village board president?
The village of Alloway is a small village, 14,000 people. We are bordered by Green Bay on the north, De Pere on the south, and two rivers on the east and west. 30% of our land is not taxable. So we have to find a better way or different way to generate revenue. We can't expand, so we have to redevelop. And in looking at the different opportunities for redevelopment, seeing the studies that were done on GBCI, this whole thing started out as an economic development opportunity for our village and for our community as a whole. Since then, it has grown to be much more than that. Once we've started really understanding what the condition of the prison is in and the inability to create a place where the DOC can actually do their job, the view or the vision has really expanded. And we're talking about people's lives as well as economic development.
So what has been over the last 10 years? What's happened and then what hasn't happened, if you could give us a quick timeline?
We started this out about 9 years ago. Representative David Steffen has been a tremendous champion of ours down in Madison, has spoken to every legislator there is. And to even get his own party on board was a challenge because people saw it to be a local, I'm guessing they saw it to be a local issue and not a statewide issue. The reality is it is a statewide issue. It's a state prison. It is funded by the state. They're providing services by the state. The majority of inmates there, they come from southeast Wisconsin. So the timeline was we first had to get the party that was in control on board. And it took us a while, but we got that. And Governor Walker, right before he left the last budget, he had put $5 million into the budget to start the process of closing GBCI. When Governor Evers came in, he vetoed that $5 million because he wants comprehensive criminal justice reform throughout the system. And he has recently even said, or through a spokesman, that nothing will happen to GBCI until there's comprehensive criminal justice reform. So over the last couple of years, we have decided, okay, we've got some people agreeing to us, so now we have to reach out to more. And we reached out to the Democrats in the legislature and gained bipartisan support from Christina Shelton here in Green Bay, Eric Genrich, who is the mayor of Green Bay. So we started working with the governor's staff. Legislators have to have the wherewithal and the commitment to working with the governor and vice versa to fix a problem, many problems throughout the corrections system.
Well, and that's the thing. There's many problems. And I feel like only in the last, let's call it 6 months, there's been more and more attention from the media on the problem. And there was a New York Times article. I know the Journal Sentinel has done a lot. We've talked about it on this show. And it's overcrowding. It's the lockdowns. It's the rat infestations. It's deaths. It's shortage. And yet this mounting pile of issues, there doesn't seem to be urgency.
Kristen, I think it's politics. There are people who believe we should be tough on crime, and there are people who believe that we should let low-level offenders out and try to make room in other facilities for the maximum security prisoners. The reality is GBCI is a maximum security facility, and it's overcrowded. They're on lockdown, and we have met with families of the incarcerated. We've met with ex-incarcerated, and we've met with guards, all of whom say the same thing, that place is not designed to today's standards by any stretch of the imagination to have the DOC effectively do their job. You have 60% of the 1,000 people or so have mental health needs. 30% of the inmates have major mental health needs. When I was through the prison in 2019 with the governor and the secretary, the governor said, how many beds do we have to help people? And they said 13. There's another population, a very small percentage of those folks. They're on life sentences and they're going to live out their days there or at another maximum security facility. And then the other population are those who do not have mental health needs, but those who are going to come back into our society, back into our communities. And we need to be able to provide the job skills training, the mental health support, the social interaction support that they need to be able to come back into the community and not recidivate and not go back into prison. We're not doing that today.
Jim, you mentioned the bipartisan support amongst the legislature now for this. What do you think the next steps will be?
The Department of Corrections and the state is preparing for the next upcoming budget. And I think what we have to do is get people who want to be tough on crime and people who want to let folks out of prison at the lower levels and reimagine the correction system. We have to stop saying what we want to do, and they have to come together and talk about how do we actually make it happen. And commit to the people of Wisconsin, commit to the people inside of GBCI and other corrections facilities that we're going to do what's right for the people of Wisconsin.
Do what's right for the people of Wisconsin. I guess I'd be interested to hear from people if they, as Jim said in no uncertain terms, that this is a statewide issue. Mm-hmm. If people feel like it's a statewide issue or if it's something that doesn't affect them. And if you have thoughts on this, 855-616-1620, because I hear this story and I hear the work that Jim's put into it, and it's hard not to think that there is holding out for a perfect solution instead of progress.
Well, that's the problem with a lot of the issues that we discuss here. Everybody wants the perfect solution rather than, because, you know, if you do something that only works in the short term, well, then we have to revisit it and it's more money. That's not the point. And people in the state should consider it a state issue because at some point those 1,000 inmates are going to have to go somewhere else. It's an untenable situation up there. And so they're not just going to move them across the street. They're going to move them around the state. So it is a state issue, whether it's funding for a new prison, which, you know, that's billions. It's too much to rehab the GBCI. You quoted that number earlier. So, yeah, we all have to figure it out. But it's, if we've got, and we hear this again on a number of issues, both sides are agreeing. Okay, so everybody knows this has to be done. We agree it has to be done. Well, then let's do something about it.
We're going to talk more about this after the break, but if you have thoughts on how much this impacts you and if this is something that you feel like we should be able to get to the bottom of, 855-616-1620, news time 1:23. This is Spanning the State.
Miss any of the truth on WTMJ?
I'm representing the bull.
Maybe there's something wrong with me.
Catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts and catch up on moments like this.
Yesterday on mountain, I am a mighty little man. I am a mighty. I love me some Young Sheldon.
Oh my God.
And listen to the truth on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 until 9 with Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas. Right here on 620 WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend Accunet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which Accunet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Spring fishing is finally here, and Fleet Farm has everything you need to reel in more fish this year. Upgrade your gear with the best brands like Rapala, Berkeley, and St. Croix. Find exclusive flicker sheds you won't find anywhere else, starting at $12.99. Get rod and reel combos starting at only $24.99. And shop our wide selection of fishing line that starts at just $4.99. Land top fishing gear and everything else you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And wrapping up our conversation around the Green Bay Correctional Institution. And I will say, I was thinking of the Columbia Correctional Institution when I said the Waupun versus what we passed. And so, was where Jeffrey Dahmer went.
Is that right?
That's a fun fact for you, yes.
Wow.
That one I know.
We'll put that in Wisconsin Trivia for one of our future Fun Time Friday games.
But I think one of the things that we just played an interview with Jim Rafter, who is the Alloway Village Board President, who's been working on this issue for almost 10 years. And one of the things he mentioned was the hard on crime people versus the comprehensive criminal reform people and how they come together on this issue, because that's what it feels like the pull is, right? It's we don't want to build a new prison because we want less prisoners. And they're holding out for that while prisoners and inmates are living in pretty inhumane conditions. And it's like, how long do you hold out on that?
Well, we talked about this before the show about other things. You can be both. I think it's a little Pollyanna, and this is just my opinion, to say, well, we want less prisoners. Now, do we need prison reform and criminal justice reform? Sure we do. But there's always going to be people who need to be separated from society for the choices that they make. And they need to be punished is probably the wrong word or an antiquated word, but they need to be institutionalized. So to say we are not going to build any more prisons, I think is irresponsible. And I used to think in my younger days, well, if somebody hurt someone in my family, I wouldn't care how bad the prisons were. But then as you mature a little bit and you become a little more rational, hopefully, you say, okay, I can still separate these people from society. I can still punish them, but I can do it so nobody should have rats crawling on them. People should be able to use the bathroom. You know, we can do it in a humane way. And I know the tough on crime people are probably going, oh, no, we should. Humane is a graduated scale. Should I be able to eat a meal without bugs in it? Yes. That's, you're still never getting out. You're still living in a little box, which you deserve for the rest of your life. But we can make it livable, passable. And so I think if the two sides are that separate, it's going to take. I think it would be harder. Well, no, I was going to say it'd be harder for one side than the other, but I think both sides are so entrenched to meet anywhere near the middle is going to take a lot of debate and a lot of common sense.
Well, it seems like there had been, like you said, there's been budgets where the Republicans have put in line items to say, let's close it down. And that's been on Evers. That's not followed through with that.
Right.
And so I don't know what will change. What remains to be seen is how much the makeup of the legislature changes after this fall, since we have new maps. And so if there is more room for compromise when there is less of a adversarial relationship.
I think the big question has to be, and I know we've got to get to the news, okay, if people agree it's got to be shut down, Where do we move those 1,000 people?
Well, we've had
That's
the
big
mayor of
question.
Waupun has been on here and has said straight to Steve Scafidi, we'll take them.
Oh, all right.
So
get a bus.
All right. When we come back, Giving Tuesday, we have a much more same neck of the woods, much better story, Heartorama, but ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Student protests at college campuses over the war in Gaza intensifying this week. At the University of Texas at Austin, dozens arrested as protesters and police in riot gear clashed. And in New York's Columbia University, officials say they may expel students who have now barricaded themselves inside a hall. ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams says the moves by schools to order out protesters is more about First Amendment rights. It's about what protesters are doing.
It's that they're shutting down buildings. They're trespassing on private property. And as a result, that's not protected.
Talks for a ceasefire and hostage release deal have resumed between Israel and Hamas, the U.S. urging Hamas to accept the latest proposal. The hush money trial of Donald Trump resumed today with the judge holding Trump in contempt of court for gag order violations. Trump was fined $9,000. And another round of storms on the march from Texas to the Midwest today. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News time is 1:31. A child is dead after a hit-and-run crash on Milwaukee's north side today near Teutonia and Vera. The office of the mayor tells WTMJ the victim is a 4-year-old. Milwaukee police have not said whether anyone is in custody. Mayor Cavalier Johnson will hold a press conference near the crash site later this hour. The Social Development Commission abruptly closes its doors after more than 60 years serving the Milwaukee community. The Journal-Sentinel reports employees were told by email that the closure is temporary, but no reopening date has been set. This comes after the discovery of misallocation of funds led to the closure of key programs, layoffs of employees, and the termination of the CEO and finance director. And the Milwaukee County Transit System adding an additional Summerfest shuttle ahead of the big gig this June. Fest goers will now have the option of catching the shuttle at the Hills Corners Park and Ride. Currently, the shuttle travels from Brown Deer and College Avenue Park and Rides. Rides are cashless and cost $10 per round trip. The Connect One bus rapid transit line will also drop off Fest goers at the Couture Transit Center. The ride will cost the usual $2. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow currently down 410 points at 37,975. S&P 500 down about 50 points at 5,065. And the NASDAQ is down 190 points at 15,792. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Visit annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic update. Southbound from Brown Deer to downtown, a 13-minute ride, normally 11, just a 2-minute delay through the construction zone. Still tapping on the brakes here. Westbound 894 Mitchell International to the Hale, once again through massive construction. That's about a 2-minute delay. Otherwise, standard travel times about the system this afternoon. Scattered showers tonight with a low of 53. Partly cloudy on Wednesday with a high of 72. Clouds on the increase Thursday. Showers are possible with a high of 70 degrees inland, 63 closer to the lake. Right now it's 66 degrees and sunny in Madison, 56 degrees in Green Bay, 63 in Waukesha, and 64 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Kessler's has diamond pendants for Mother's Day.
Diamond pendants for only $70.
Mother's Day celebrates motherhood.
And it's always appropriate to give a Mother's Day gift to a mom.
Diamond pendants for only $70.
Your mother is a mother.
Your wife may be a mother.
Your girlfriend may be a mother.
Your sister may be a mother.
Your grandmother's certainly a mother.
You might even have a coworker who is a mother.
Motherhood needs to be celebrated.
Always.
You heard the part about the $70, right?
Giving a diamond pendant to a mom who wasn't expecting it is one of the greatest joys you'll ever experience.
The surprise on their face when you say Happy Mother's Day is worth 10 times the price you paid.
They'll remember that gift forever.
And you will too.
Welcome to Kessler's, where you can buy a diamond Mother's Day pendant for just $70.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Better understand your pension and how it affects your retirement plans. Join WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Annex Wealth Management's Eric Storm for a free webinar, especially tailored to State of Wisconsin Pension Program participants. The hour-long webinar starts at 4 o'clock today. To register, text the word Annex, A-N-N-E-X, to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620, or go to annexwealth.com/events. It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. Brian, are you familiar with Giving Tuesday?
I know that we're starting it right now.
Well,
I know that in
as
general,
far as
yes.
where we're stealing the name from.
We're stealing the name, but it is yes, where people are supposed to give to charitable foundations and give back and help out the community and help out people who need it.
So it's always the day after. Well, now it's the day after Cyber Monday. But then after Black Friday. So it's basically encouraging charitable and donations after you've just bought all of your stuff for yourself or for your family members for Christmas. It is the following Tuesday after Thanksgiving. But we thought, we'll just take that name.
Sure.
Because we're on Tuesdays going forward. We're going to have a Giving Tuesdays segment because, there's a lot of bad news. What we just covered.
Yeah.
Not the most uplifting story talking about a 126-year-old correctional institution that is falling apart.
And rodents
PFAS, pollution, our legislature and governor who can never get along.
You're making this show seem very depressing.
There's a lot of big issues that are not always, they fire you up, but they don't necessarily make you feel good. But there is a lot of good news. There is a lot of good organizations. There are a lot of good people doing good across the state of Wisconsin. And we wanted a vehicle to share those stories. So when we come back, our inaugural Giving Tuesday, we're going to feature an annual variety show up in Two Rivers that's been happening since 1971.
Wow. Same cast?
Longevity.
That is longevity.
I don't know if it's the same cast, but they've raised over $3 million for the American Heart Association. And this year, they have a very special repeat guest that you'll have to stay tuned to find out who it is, because it's a story and a show you don't want to miss. So stay tuned to learn a little bit more about Heartorama when we come back on the other side of this.
Celebrate the music of a true Hollywood legend when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Movie Music of John Williams, May 3rd through the 5th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Tickets are selling fast, so don't wait another minute to reserve your seats now by calling 414-291-7605 or visiting MSO.org. Music director Ken David Mazur will lead the MSO in a wide variety of John Williams' best-loved scores, from his anthems for the Olympics and NBC Sports to so many of those blockbusters that just wouldn't be the same without his music. Jaws, Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so many others. Don't miss this opportunity to experience the movie music of John Williams played live and in a former movie palace. Visit MSO.org for tickets or call the box office now at 414-291-7605.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Each day, there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely. And you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. We're all living longer. That means in all of our families, people are facing Alzheimer's, dementia, and other memory-related issues. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They're Wisconsin-based, 14 in our state, 4 in our area. I've been in their buildings. They're fantastic. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, empathy and compassion at the core. It's Azura.
Thank you for being a friend.
So, are you Blanche or Rose, or who are you? Which
I would say, I think I
want to
be. Maybe I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd go.
Who would you go
I'm gonna
with?
go with who was B. Arthur? Which one was she?
Um,
Because I don't want to. Estelle Getty was too. Estelle Getty was fun. They were all fun.
They were all super. What always throws me off about the Golden Girls is the fact that they were supposed to be in like their late 50s.
Yeah.
And now J-Lo is in her like early 50s, and I don't think there's any chance she's going to look anything like what the Golden Girls when she's in her late 50s.
No, those Golden Girls, they were
so it was
miscast.
It was Blanche, Dorothy, Sophia, and Rose.
Okay.
I think I'd like to be more like Dorothy because she was just blunt and pragmatic. I don't think everyone else would always apply that to me.
All right.
Maybe more Blanche then? I don't know.
Blanche was the Rue McClanahan one, right? What? She wasn't Blanche the Lucy Goosey one?
Yeah. Well, depending on how you are defining Lucy Goosey.
I don't know. Her shoes were never tied.
This is totally going off the rails as far as our new segment.
It's Giving Tuesday, for the love of goodness.
Yeah, so our new segment where we are featuring the good news, the good organizations, the good people doing good across the state, and our inaugural story this weekend in Two Rivers, the 52nd annual Heartorama Variety Show. It's been over 50 years. This is their 52nd, like I said, since 1971, and they've raised $3 million for the American Heart Association. So we got to talk to the show's producer and longtime contributor, Jim Pouts, on the history of the event, the quote-unquote best seat in the house that is auctioned off at each show, and this year's very special repeat guest auctioneer.
It started back in 1971, and there were some people in the Manitowoc area who wanted to start a fundraiser, and so they decided that night. I have to go back to some of my notes, but that night they decided we're going to do it 2 nights. And we're gonna raise money for the Heart Association, and they pulled in a whopping $1,367.96, and 1971.
That's good.
And then they decided let's continue doing this yearly. So I think they expanded it to 3 nights after that, and then throughout the years since '71, it has expanded. When I joined it in 2003, we were doing 9 nights. within the span of 2 weeks. So, yeah, and then you do dress rehearsal. Sleep. I wasn't home a lot, but my wife wasn't always happy about that. But don't tell her I said that. But yeah, so we do 9 nights back then. Right now we're at 6 nights. So we do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're on our second weekend this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
What can people expect? Is it local performers? Is it stand-up? What goes on when people come to Heartorama?
It's very much, as Kristen mentioned, we kind of compare it to Saturday Night Live with a local flair, very vaudevillian. We make fun of ourselves, the local kinds of things, but it's not all local. I know that we're doing this on a station, the biggest stick in the state. You're still called that yet, right?
Yeah.
And so you could come from Milwaukee and come to see our show and laugh, and that's what we're here. We're here to entertain. We make fun of roundabouts a lot, for instance, and so I'm directing one called Roundabout in Space because our theme this year is Heartorama Goes to Space. So of course there's got to be a roundabout in space. We have a Heartorama News. We make fun of roundabouts. There's mentions throughout the course of our skits. We have a lot of short skits, probably 5 to 10 minutes long, and they go anywhere from, as I mentioned, the roundabout. We have some cone heads showing up this year. We have a crash in the cornfield, so you can imagine what that might be. We've got Space Jeopardy. We've got figures showing up. There's Darth Vader, but there's also Darth Valders. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the area, but Valders is a town in Manitowoc County.
Okay.
So we have that. We have characters you'd recognize. E.T. shows up.
Phone home.
Princess Leia shows up. Mm-hmm.
Are there any special guests?
Well, now that you say so, yes. What we've been doing the last few years is trying to bring in some guest auctioneers. So I'll just preface that by saying, before the show, so our doors open at 6:00, and you can purchase food and so forth. At 6:40, we have our best seat in the house auction, and the best seat in the house is a new painted, decorated toilet seat that sells for anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 each night.
Whoa!
Yeah,
it better be polar.
Wow. Yeah, so this past weekend, for instance. And we didn't have, we had good sized crowds, but it wasn't full. Thursday night, it sold for $2,500. Friday night, it sold for $4,000. And then Saturday night was $1,700.
Wow. Now it's painted in the theme of the year's Heartorama, and then does the cast signs it?
Yep, we sign it. And then if we have our guest auctioneers coming, they typically will sign it, and then they help us auction it off. And so, this past weekend we had more local celebs, we'll say, and this coming week, Thursday, we have John Mino. I'm not sure if you're familiar with John, but local Green Bay sports. He was on Murphy in the Morning on WIXX back in the day, that kind of thing. John's coming on Thursday. Friday, we have Charlie Barron's coming.
Never heard of him.
For the second year in a row. Yeah, who? We have Charlie coming on Friday, and then Saturday we have Bill Jartz from Channel 2 up in Green Bay, and he's been there for 40 years. And so they're going to come, and Charlie came last year, and I've been kind of bothering Charlie the last few years. So when Charlie suddenly did his Manitowoc Minute, I thought, boy, it'd be cool to get Charlie here. Because his humor is our humor. We've been doing it longer, but it is. It's very much. I mean, and it's great. We can make fun of ourselves and so forth. And so Charlie couldn't make it for the first few years that I produced. I've been producing since 2018, and so, but he was generous enough to send us T-shirts and flags and Manitowoc Minute stuff, and so we would auction that off. And I think in the last few years, we probably made $3,000 just on that stuff from Charlie, which is awesome. So then last year, finally, he said, I want to come. Awesome. That'd be great. So what happened last year is going to happen this year. Charlie is going to help us auction off our toilet seat pre-show. So he's going to do that. And he was fantastic. I mean, last year, I don't know if we can match it or get more. I hope so. But last year, including Charlie's donation, we brought in $9,600 for the toilet seats. So yeah,
wow,
yeah. So so it was great. And then Charlie did about 5 minutes of stand up for us, and he's going to do that for us again this year. And then again, we're making money for the Heart Association here. We auctioned off Charlie for a meet and greet at intermission, and last year we had mainly 2 groups that were kind of going back and forth in the auction. And initially, we got $1,300. This is awesome, $1,300 for 10 to 15 minutes with Charlie. And then the other group who was bidding came up to us afterwards and said, "Hey, we'll get $1,400 if we can come down and get pictures too." Charlie's, yep, bring them on. That's fine. So $2,700, pretty nice, pretty nice night.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and I invited Charlie. I wasn't sure if he'd stick around, and he stayed for the entire show. Came on stage with us because we do a little song pre-show and then post, and he just came on stage and waved our Heartorama flags with us, and it was a good time. And I'll be honest, I had people asking me, will he come back next year? And I said, probably not. I don't know that he does a lot of those kind of, he's doing it on his own dime, which is awesome. And I said, probably not. And this year when I asked, I wasn't getting a no. And all of a sudden, Charlie said, "Yeah, I'll be there."
There you go.
And then he's also sent us some brandy.
Also sent some brandy. So if you would like to see Charlie, he is going to be at this weekend's Friday show. There's also a Thursday show. There's a Saturday show. If you would like the link to buy tickets, text HEART, HEART, to 855-616-1620, and we will send you the website for Heartorama, but that is just heartarama.org. So tickets are still on sale. It goes to a good cause. Yeah. You're going to laugh. You might get to see Charlie. You can take home a toilet seat.
Get some brandy.
But what a great tradition that they've established.
It's amazing the just the numbers of the amount of money they've raised and how much people are willing to get into the spirit and bid on the toilet seat. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. All right. Well, and if you have a story or an organization or a person you think we should feature on Giving Tuesday, shoot us an email at spanning@WTMJ.com. Maybe a little bit of a giveaway when we come back. This is Spanning the State.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
Wait now or wait a little longer. You may have just increased your lifetime income by tens of thousands of dollars. That's how Social Security can work for you. The longer you wait, the more money you may get. Deciding when to start taking your Social Security benefits is one of the most important retirement decisions you'll make. Our team at Drake & Associates can show you the options and help make the right decision for your situation. You spent decades paying in. Optimize what comes out. Drake & Associates can help you squeeze every penny out of your Social Security benefits. Claim your free Retirement Ready Toolkit that has guides on Social Security. To get our complimentary toolkit, call or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting SS to 414-409-9982.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Your ticket to State Fair Fun is just $13. This unbeatable price ends April 30th. Don't let summer vibes pass you by. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com. It's time to feel good at the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular, August 1st through the 11th.
Dan, do you know there's a way to fit more in your closet without spring cleaning?
Of course. You just close the door really fast.
No, you call us at Inspired Closets. Depending on your space, we can easily double your storage.
Won't people think that's expensive?
Not with us. Other closet companies over-design projects, driving up the cost. Inspired Closets gives clients 3 designs, allowing us to find the price point they are comfortable with.
And our true lifetime warranty. Visit us at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Why is abbreviation such a long word? You'd think someone could make it shorter.
You mean like instead of saying buy one, get one, you can just say BOGO.
Yeah, kinda.
Through Monday at Hasselus Mattress, buy a new Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, or Beauty Rest mattress, and we'll give you a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Or, in other words,
BOGO.
You're a man of few words. I like that.
Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Gospel means good news, and this kind of news is necessarily social. Because of the Holy Spirit, the gospel rustles with an internal dynamism that demands to be externalized, demands to be lived extrovertedly.
Pastor John Nunes with a message about rejoicing on the way, this week on the Lutheran Hour.
Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
A scrub is a guy that thinks he's flying this.
2 days in a row with a TLC reference.
It's a lot of TLC on this.
A lot of TLC for a group that I haven't thought about very much since I was in middle school and high school.
I never thought about them much at all.
Ever?
No,
well,
I mean,
I'm not sure you were their target demographic,
I was
Brian.
not. I never have been. I'm nobody's target demographic, which is lovely.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I would say your brewery's target demographic.
Yes, that's true. Breweries love me.
And Irish
because
music.
I love them. And yes, all that. But listen, we could talk about TLC all day, or we could send you to see TLC, not just in the grandstand at the State Fair. That's for the the common people. You want to be a VIP, don't you? Of course you do.
Well, we have 2 VIP tickets to see TLC with Jordan Sparks on Friday, August 2nd. So the first of 2 pairs of VIP tickets that we are giving away for Wisconsin State Fair main stage. What are VIP tickets?
I was going to ask you that exact question.
They are located in private, elevated tents where there is seating, and then there's an amazing view of the stage, as well as access to a private bar that only folks in the tent have access to.
This is my favorite part, though. That's all spectacular. The elevated tent, the private bar, parking. Parking is key when you go to the State Fair. You get VIP parking. That means you'll be able to park in the 3 rows closest to the entrance.
All right, so lucky number 7. So caller number 7, you will win the first of 2 pairs that we have. Yes. So 2 tickets to see TLC and Jordan Sparks. Call now, caller number 7, and news is next. This is Spanning the State.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here with spring here and the warmer temps in the air. This is a great time to be doing all the fun outdoor stuff, right? Like the hiking, the biking, maybe going to the lake. But if your joints are flaring up, you may be having second thoughts maybe about hitting those 18 holes. Well, if you're tired of the achy joints, here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics. Do it before you agree to surgery or steroids or any other medication. It's what tens of thousands of patients are doing. Take Abby, for instance. Constant back pain. She had nonstop ice packs, steroids. It was exhausting for her, but thanks to QC Kinetics, Abby feels like a new person. No back pain thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics. I'd love to be talking about your story next, your lasting relief with no downtime. Call QC Kinetics. Consultation is free. Hear about it now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-284-3474. QC Kinetics.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right. and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngwith with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
The Bucks are back in Milwaukee, and tonight they have to fight to survive.
He's going to turn around, fades and fires, cash money. Chris Middleton with a silky smooth fading jump shot.
Game 5 of round 1 against the Pacers begins tonight at 8 on your home of the Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2:01 and 64 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Julia Fellow. Tonight, scattered showers are possible. The low will be 53 degrees. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 72 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, we've just learned a child was killed in a hit-and-run crash today near Teutonia and Vera. The office of the mayor tells WTMJ the victim is a 4-year-old. Milwaukee police have not said whether anyone is in custody. Mayor Cavalier Johnson will hold a press conference near the crash site later this hour. In other news, Columbia University warns anyone who does not need to be on campus to stay away from the school. CBS Tom Hansen.
They're calling on the university to remove investment from companies that they believe fund weapons manufacturing or perpetuate things like the settlements that are going on in that region.
Pro-Palestinian protesters broke into and occupied the school's Hamilton Hall. Witnesses say a group used a hammer to break the windows and then lock the doors from the inside. Here at home, protest encampments remain at the UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee campuses, despite repeated statements from administration at both schools that camping is prohibited on campus grounds. UW-Madison made a statement saying once the encampment on Library Mall is cleared, they stand ready to meet with campus-based organizers to discuss their demands. UWM leaders asked students to respect each other's diverse viewpoints as well as the law. Charges filed after a woman was found dead in a car trunk near 29th and Ruby on Milwaukee's north side earlier this month. Gerard Stewart is charged with first-degree reckless homicide in connection to Tamika Stewart's death April 17th, as well as felony jail jumping. An autopsy revealed Stewart was stabbed 49 times. Court records indicate Gerard Stewart is not in custody connected to these charges. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 386 at 38,000. NASDAQ is down 173 at 15,809. S&P 500 is down 44 at 5,072. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:04.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
What you got there? Dramamine.
Why?
Because we're promoting the cane table.
It's part of the Envy collection at Penny Mustard. But that's for seasickness.
Look at the cane table. What do you see?
Style. Charm. Good old American craftsmanship that lasts for generations.
Okay, sure, but look closer. What do you see?
I see a beveled edge, conversion varnish, and a striking leg design. I see a dining room table that's optionizable with as many leaves as you need to fit a family of 2 or 22. When I look at the cane table, I see a world of possibilities.
Yeah, but look at the shape of the cane table.
It's boat-shaped.
Precisely.
You mean you get seasick just by looking at anything shaped like a boat?
Uh-oh, I'm feeling woozy.
Don't miss the boat. Come see the cane table and the Envy collection, starting at $18.38, paired with Encore side chairs for $5.50 each at Penny Mustard. Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago. PennyMustard.com.
Boat-shaped versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. With backs against the wall, our Bucks host the Pacers tonight in Game 5 of their best-of-7 playoff series. Giannis and Dame are both listed as doubtful on the team's injury report. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 8 o'clock on WTMJ. Brew Crew aim to snap a 3-game losing streak tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Rays. Hear tonight's game on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at 6:05. Let's take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. 894 South at Lincoln Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked because of a disabled vehicle. Another disabled vehicle on exit to Holly Hill Road from 41 to US 45 South. In Pleasant Prairie, we hear there's a crash at 94 South, just at the ramp from Highway 50.
Traffic is sponsored by Cedarburg PAC Inc., shining brightly for 25 years.
Get your tickets now for two-time Grammy winner Kathy Mattea, country, bluegrass, and a little bit of folk. Performing Saturday at the Cedarburg Performing Arts Center. Shining brightly for 25 years, cedarburgpac.com.
Your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Tonight, scattered showers are possible. The low will be 53 degrees. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 72. Thursday, showers possible with a high of 63 at the lake. Even warmer inland, 70 degrees. Friday, showers early with a high of 67 degrees. Chance of showers late on Saturday. The high will be 63 at the lake, 70 inland. Right now in Madison, it's 66 degrees. Waukesha, 64 degrees. And Milwaukee, 65 degrees. Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Hello. Just a quick reminder for everybody. We gave away that first pair of VIP tickets. Later this hour, we'll give you another chance to win VIP tickets to TLC and Jordan Sparks at the Wisconsin State Fair. But now, we must spin the state.
All right, let's see where we're going first.
Wausau.
Oh, somebody messed with the people of Wausau. They are not happy. A decision to rename Monk Botanical Gardens has sparked enormous public outrage, which is the best kind of public outrage. Hundreds of people signed a petition that asked for reconsideration. Monk Botanical Gardens will become Wausau Botanic Gardens, according to a news release. The petition to reverse that decision, launched by Colton Helt, garnered more than 360 signatures in a 24-hour span. Monk Botanical Gardens was established in 2003 as a nonprofit when Mr. Monk donated 21 acres of land to a group of volunteers to further his vision of a beautiful botanical garden focused on education. A new master plan envisions a large visitor center with both a gift shop and coffee shop, along with an education wing with classrooms and other amenities. The release also outlines plans for a beer garden, outdoor performances in the amphitheater, an orangery to display plantings in the wintertime, a 5,500 square foot greenhouse, an enabling garden for visitors with special needs, and the ever-popular much more.
Sounds nice.
It does. It sounds lovely.
Is it the fact that they've dropped monk?
Yes.
Or is it the fact that they're saying botanic instead of botanical?
I think the AL makes a huge difference.
I think it makes a huge difference. It also doesn't sound right. Botanical. That's
no, botanic sounds like you forgot the word and you just went botanic. Yeah. So no, I'm sure. Listen, before people start texting in, we know it's because they don't want it to be the name Monk to be taken off.
There you go.
We got it.
All right. Let's see where we're going next. Portage. All right. In Portage, a group claims DNR settlement with Portage County Dairy Farm is illegal. Yes, a new lawsuit has claimed that state regulators reached an illegal deal with a Portage County farm that shut out the public input for under the operation's groundwater monitoring. And so the group Midwest Environmental Advocates sued the Wisconsin DNR and Gordondale Farms in Nelsonville on behalf of Portage County residents. In the complaint, it said that residents living nearby the concentrated animal feeding operation, otherwise known as a CAFO, have had nitrate levels in wells that exceed the state health standard of 10 milligrams per liter. One well showed that levels are nearly 5 times that amount.
Wow, so straight up nitrate.
So it's, I don't know if straight up nitrate, but not great. This is not new. So the lawsuit is the latest in a series of challenges to Gordondale's permit. And it was first issued in 2020 without any groundwater monitoring on fields that receive manure. That caused residents to petition for a contested case hearing on the decision. And then in 2021, the Wisconsin Supreme Court heard the case and ruled that the DNR had authority to impose those requirements on large farms to protect water quality. So my wondering is now with a new leaning with the court, if there is a new lawsuit to see they would get a different ruling.
We'll have to keep our eye out. Another water story. A lot of
water
stories in Wisconsin. Yeah. All right, let's give it a spin. Where will we go?
Summit.
5 Douglas County towns are going to receive high-speed internet. These towns are going to be wired for high-speed internet beginning next year, partially funded by broadband infrastructure grants that the Public Service Commission awarded in March. Hundreds of residents and businesses in the towns of Oakland, Superior, Summit, Gordon, and Wascott, currently served by low-speed or satellite internet service. Oh, that's the worst. They can connect to the state standard rate of 100 megabits per second for uploads and downloads. The PSC awarded $41.87 million statewide in federally funded grants to support capital projects that will provide reliable, reasonably priced internet connections to enable work, education, and health monitoring. The monthly cost for residents and businesses will be $64.95, plus state and federal taxes for the service. Higher speeds are available at $79.95 for businesses and residents, according to ECE's grant application. So,
all right.
Who would have thought that, years ago, and I'm old enough to remember before the internet, Kristen. I know this is hard to believe.
I remember before the internet.
Do you?
Vaguely.
I was going to say, you heard stories. But to think that now it is crucial to our everyday existence. So it's good that this is
Whenever
happening.
the internet goes out at the office, everyone kind of walks around. What do I do?
Yeah.
How do I work? How do I do any of the things that I need to do?
I started in this business with no internet. It's hard to believe. We were just cutting articles out of the paper. And Marconi and I did an afternoon show. It was wacky. I am so excited about the next destination.
All right.
Milwaukee.
So in Milwaukee, 2 Milwaukee friends are holding their 3rd annual period party to combat period poverty. Are you familiar with what period poverty is?
I can assume that it means the cost of feminine products is very high, and so people who don't have a lot of money are having trouble getting those products.
2 in 5 people.
Is that right?
Yes, 2 in 5 people who need period products struggle to afford pads, tampons, and it leads to them missing work, school, activities, because you imagine you can't just show up.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at yes, I understand.
So this is 2 friends have started. This is their 3rd time having a party and collecting pads and tampons and raising money for Milwaukee Diaper Mission, which is actually an organization close to my heart.
Oh, yeah.
My husband and I, so they also, along with period products in the name, as you imagine, they collect diapers.
Yeah.
And for people who have a hard time affording diapers. And so when we were pregnant with Frankie, we did a fundraiser for them, and we
Nice.
we raised we had a lot of donations, we had a lot of money, to Milwaukee Diaper Mission. But the Friends, their first party, they collected 5,000 pads and tampons and raised $1,000. Their second one, they raised more than $3,000 and collected 25,000 pads and tampons. And so their next party, this third one, they're hoping to be the biggest one yet. It's coming up on May 19th, and it's at Enlightened Brewing Company from 1 to 4 p.m.
Very nice. Well, that's excellent, because not only are those products expensive, diapers, well, you know now, diapers are not cheap.
Diapers are not cheap. Formula's not cheap.
Kids are a drain.
Kids are very expensive. Lovely. I love her.
Sure, of course.
Not cheap.
No. And here's the good news, though, for you. They don't get any cheaper.
Great.
They don't get any cheaper. They actually get more expensive.
Ooh, okay.
Braces,
totally
things
worth
like
it.
that. Yeah,
Perfect.
it's great.
News time, 2:15.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nothing says summer like a hot dog in baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
At Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. For over 50 years, boaters have found that to be true. Because when they've needed that old part they thought they'd never find, guess what? They found it here, along with everything else you need to keep your boat out there on the water. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey boaters!
Well, if you have an old boat, new boat, or in between, then Kendor Marine is a great place for you to shop. Because not only do we have all the parts and accessories you need for almost any kind of boat, we also have the expert advice that just about any boater is one day gonna need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Now I can have all the cookouts and get-togethers in my backyard with a little bit of extra shade and relaxation for my guests. Comfort Awnings is a local family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They always have the best specials going, so make sure to give them a call at 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I thought I hit it. I'm Brian Noonan. Oh, boy, my technical skills are unparalleled. This is the time of year where another couple weeks, all staff emails will be filled with people saying, this is one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I'm leaving the school, I'm leaving teaching. Then you get another round of those emails in about early August, because that's when the people have, they've had the summer to think. Very troubling statistic coming out of Wisconsin about teacher retention. And we want to talk to you, if you are a teacher who left the profession early, not retired. That's we congratulate all the retired teachers, but I want to talk to you. You went into teaching and you thought this is going to be my life's goal, and then you left. We'd love to know why. 855-616-1620 is the WTMJ talk and text line. The reason I bring this up, and I heard it all the time when I was in the schools, and I've seen, this is a statistic that hasn't really changed too much. It's gotten worse by increments, but it happens every year. There is a huge shortage of teachers in schools, teachers in Wisconsin, which we've talked about. A new report came out from the Department of Public Instruction that says nearly 40% of new teachers quit and leave the profession just 6 years in. Now imagine, teaching is something that when you ask little kids what they want to do, they want to be teachers. There's not a lot of people who get to their senior year in college and they go, you know what, I want to be a teacher. Teacher is kind of a calling,
Oh, you're saying that it's not like people later in life change their mind. It's something that you feel like from an early age.
But I do think people who go into teaching, especially in elementary school, they've wanted to be teachers for their whole lives. So they go to school. They get in, their first year is kind of rough. First year for teachers is always hard. Just like anybody starting a new job, a new career, but then they get burned out. So 6 years is what they're lasting here in Wisconsin. Only about 2/3 of aspiring educators who completed some kind of school program and met the requirements were ultimately employed in Wisconsin public schools. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
The state superintendent, who is going to be joining us in a couple weeks.
May 9th.
May 9th. That's next week. She said, our education workforce is in crisis. Solving this challenge starts with upholding the state's responsibility of funding our public schools. And that's an easy blame to say compensation for teachers is not great, and that's why teachers are leaving. And it is one of the main factors.
We're going to keep talking about it because I also think it's also the I feel like the competition of what else I could be making, right? Because so many of my friends who went into teaching who have now left, when they use that skill set and they get hired by like an ed tech company and they're making more than double their salary, we can't pay tech salaries to teachers, but in the competitive landscape of what teachers with a master's degree can do, like how much does a calling keep them in school?
I think for the ones who stay and who go into it, and everybody says this when you start as a teacher, nobody's going to get rich being a teacher. And I think most teachers know this. But over the last 12 years here in Wisconsin, the compensation has dropped precariously. For example, teachers earning more than $100,000 in 2010 were effectively earning about $81,500 in total compensation in 2022. Your pay shouldn't go down as an educator, especially you mentioned master's degrees. There's people with doctorates, and this is not just grade schools. This is high schools, but these statistics are for the public schools, and it's concerning. So this was data that was collected during the 21-22 school year. About 37% of the school districts responded to the survey. Besides the pay, what do you think are some of the other reasons?
What I've heard is it's also kids have changed. And so the dynamics of the classroom and how hard it is to manage a classroom and how quickly you get burned out because I don't know how to say this without just saying it. Basically, the kids are just
jerks.
Yeah.
They're jerks. I'll say it.
I mean, you were with kids more yes. recently than I was as far as trying to manage a classroom.
That is definitely one of the reasons.
And parents, I've heard, are a little bit more involved?
Involved is a very diplomatic way of putting it. Also, there's, I'm sure when you were in school, when I was in school, the parents would listen more to the teachers. The parents, realized that the teachers are with their children most of the day. The teachers are the one having the curriculum. Well, since the pandemic, the kid was going to school at home. I watched him. I know better. So the parents have become more entitled with sharing their opinions, whether those opinions are informed or not. And in the majority of the cases, they are not informed opinions. So you're right. The discipline is a big problem. Work-life balance. This is something that I know strikes people who don't know anybody who's in education or have never been in education. The old argument, well, they get their summers off and blah, blah, blah. Education is kind of built on unpaid labor because if teachers and administrators only worked their contracted times, nothing would get done. So many teachers are having to do all their lesson plans and grading and everything else off the clock. They're also expected to do some volunteering at school, whether it's one or, be a coach or be there for these nights. Now, those they do get compensated for at a smaller rate, but between having to pay for a lot of your own supply, you and I come to work, we have everything we need to do our job. Company gives us a computer.
They give us tissue.
They give it everything.
So kind.
Coffee, beautiful coffee machine. Oh, it's unbelievable. That's not the case in education. Most teachers are having to pay for a lot of things out of their pocket. So the work-life balance, the compensation, all of that is bad. But the union has spoken up. So we're going to share just a few things, and I do want to hear from teachers. If you left, why did you leave? 855-616-1620. On the other side, we'll give you some of the solutions that the union has put forward for increasing teacher retention. It's spanning the state.
This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. We often talk about public safety on my show, the Political Power Hour. It is now that time of the year where we recognize those who go above and beyond their duty. If you know a first responder in your local community that exemplifies this kind of bravery, you can submit their story to WTMJ.com, but do so soon because we're closing entries by May 12th.
It's Steve Scafidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank and sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Burkhart Sporting Goods has a great reputation for producing custom team apparel. We're total team outfitters and we can handle the biggest jobs. Our success in custom team apparel led us into group and corporate apparel. Plus, we have a full selection of promotional products for employee gifts, special events, you name it. And we've made it easy for our customers to firm up their orders. The group sale web stores that we build for our customers are a simple way of gathering all the information you need. They're easy to work, easy to understand, and with them you'll have access to nearly limitless options. We've seen that most times we're better priced than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer. Plus Nike and Under Armour choices that the other guys can't get. And we offer a huge brand selection from Yeti, North Face, and Carhartt too. This is Brian Burkhart. For team, group, or corporate custom outfitting and promotional products, it's going to be really hard to beat our prices, selection, and ease of buying for any size budget and every size company. And that's why we always say,
you can't beat Burkhart.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here to tell you about my friends over at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. It's a state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the tavern, meet others while your pup enjoys the dog park. That's a mud-free dog park, by the way. Fun, happy, clean, and a great environment for everyone. The Hounds and Tap also provides doggy daycare, boarding, and professional grooming services. We take our greyhound there regularly. Learn more about their services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan. We're talking about teacher retention and how hard it is to retain teachers in Wisconsin.
You got a question?
Yes. Somebody texted in, curious why you left teaching instead of teaching and doing WTMJ nights. Well, because this is what I've always wanted to do. I loved doing TMJ nights. That was a great show. I got into teaching as a substitute. And I stayed a substitute, but I was full-time for the last 8 years at this one school, every day doing my thing. And I have great respect for teachers. My parents were both educators.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom was a teacher. My dad ended up as a principal. And so my brothers and I swore we would never get into education. And I'm the only one who did. And so I have great respect for them. I've gained a new appreciation for how hard it is. I think anybody who thinks it's easy should sub for a week and you'll shut up pretty much after that. And you'll go, yeah, give the teachers whatever they need. So
just playing movies every single day.
I wish we could play, but they don't even let you play movies anymore. No film strips, nothing. So if you were a teacher and you left, not because you retired after, a long and illustrious career, but if there was a point where you just said, I can't do this anymore, whether it was for compensation reasons, work-life balance, any of that. We want to hear from you. 855-616-1620. We'll read these texts, and we'll give you the union's solutions, maybe.
Not demands.
No,
but
these are ways they think we can increase teacher retention. So we'll see how you feel about those after the news.
After the news, we got,
we're giving away more tickets.
And we got more tickets to give away. We're going to do a little bit more on tornadoes.
Learn about tornado season. There's a lot going on. I'll let you throw it. You like to throw it.
And here we go.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In New York, Columbia University students speaking to reporters about the pro-Palestinian demonstrations on campus over the past 12 days, saying the encampments have been peaceful. The student, who did not identify herself, defended demonstrators barricading themselves inside Hamilton Hall, saying campus officials refused to talk.
Students and community members are risking suspension and arrest to end the true state of emergency on campus. Columbia's complicity in the genocide in Gaza.
Columbia officials demanding protesters leave the building and encampments due to violations of campus policy. A judge fined Donald Trump $9,000 today for gag order violations in the hush money trial, barring Trump from making disparaging comments about witnesses. And Haiti's transition council sworn in last week has named Edgar LeBlanc, a former Senate president, to lead the council. Armed gangs continue to control much of the capital and country. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Developing news, breaking news. A child is dead after a hit-and-run crash on Milwaukee's north side today near Teutonia and Vera. The office of the mayor tells WTMJ the victim is a 4-year-old. An impassioned Milwaukee police and Milwaukee mayor just spoke out. Take a listen.
They left. They got up and just left. And when I got the information, this afternoon, my jaw dropped to the floor, and I said, that is just straight bull. That is straight garbage. It pisses me off. It pisses me off to no end.
Again, this was a hit-and-run crash, and there is no one in custody at this time. The Social Development Commission abruptly closes its doors after more than 60 years serving in the Milwaukee community. The Journal Sentinel reports that employees were told by email about the closure and that it's temporary, but no reopening has been set. The Milwaukee County Transit System adding additional Summerfest shuttle ahead of the big gig in June. Festgoers will now have an option of catching a shuttle at Hales Corners Park and Ride. Currently, the shuttle travels from Brown Deer and College Avenue Park and rides. Rides are cashless and cost $10 round trip. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 447 at 37,938. S&P 500 is down 53 at 5,062. NASDAQ is down 198 at 15,784. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's get a check of your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Everything is on time except for Brown Deer to downtown. You have a 4-minute delay for about 11 miles there because of ongoing construction. 894 westbound Mitchell to the Hale. You have about a 3-minute delay. Here's your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Tonight, scattered showers possible. The low will be 53 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 72. Thursday, showers are possible with a high of 63 at the lake, 70 inland. Friday, showers early with a high of 67 degrees. Saturday, chance of showers late. The high will be 63 at the lake and 70 inland. In Green Bay, it's 58 degrees. In Madison, it's 67. And Milwaukee, 66 degrees. Setting Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
All Brewers games are on sale now.
Coming up, a divisional battle with the Cardinals Thursday, May 9th through Sunday, the 12th. Make your Saturday night plans for Star Wars night. Then take home a Mother's Day Brewers Belt Bag giveaway at the game on Sunday, the 12th. Presented by American Family Insurance. Don't miss out on a weekend of rivalry baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Quality heating. Heat pumps have been the norm down south, but they're new up here. And I'm a big advocate for them. They're far more efficient than conventional AC systems and serve as a backup to your furnace too. They don't use gas and they're really efficient. And that's why the government basically pays for a big portion of these babies with rebates. So before you install a conventional AC system, ask the man in the red van about an Armstrong air heat pump.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Manufacturers can void a warranty if annual maintenance can't be proven. Having a preventive maintenance agreement on your HVAC system keeps your warranty in check, helps avoid nuisance calls and your system failing at inopportune times. You get 15% off parts and labor on repairs, no trip charges, discounted pricing for replacements, and priority service. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. See the man in the red van about a preventive maintenance agreement starting at only $25.50 per month.
Quality heating, quality heating.
Honoring those who dedicate their lives to keeping us safe. WTMJ is highlighting first responders who went above and beyond this past year through Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank and sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. You can nominate your first responder now at WTMJ.com or on the WTMJ mobile app. The nomination period is open now through May 10th, and finalists will be recognized during Hero Week, May 20th through May 24th. Help us tell your stories. Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank and sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
It's like a yacht rock.
I was going to say, I feel like we have a calming music for a topic, like many topics, that people get fiery about.
Yes.
Which is teaching and the profession of teaching.
Yes. As they should. I mean, there's not one of us, either in this building or listening now, who didn't have a teacher.
Unless you were homeschooled. But I guess your parent
mom
was a teacher.
Yeah, and then or your dad, and then you really take it to the board and really complain about them. But if you were a teacher that left the profession before you retired, 855-616-1620 is the WTMJ Talk and Text line. Want to get your story. We're talking about this because a new survey came out from the Department of Public Instruction saying that nearly 40% of new teachers leave the career or the state after just 6 years in the profession. Now, there's still a lot of people studying in Wisconsin to become teachers, but they don't stay. Mm-hmm. There's more people studying to be teachers here than there are in Illinois, Minnesota, Iowa, all the surrounding states, and yet the shortage of teachers here is at a critical point. Couple texts. I've been teaching future educators in the UW system for many years. I have hundreds of students over the years. Virtually all of them have either left teaching or are teaching in another state after Act 10 eviscerated our ability to pay teachers a reasonable salary.
We had another one from the 920. My mom taught from the early 70s until the late 90s, and she quit. Late 90s. I mean, that was a little while ago, let alone what it's going on right now. But she quit because parents thinking their child would never do that.
Oh, yeah. See, I know this sounds like a trite, hacky comment. My parents never sided with us over the teachers. If the teacher said we were misbehaving, one, there was a really good chance that
I just never misbehaved.
Well, that's good for you. I rarely behaved, so there were a lot of he's not working up to his potential. So there were a lot of those. But my parents believed the teachers. I made the point that teachers or that education is built on unpaid labor. Somebody from the 414, my wife teaches at-risk students at a local high school. I guarantee you she works more than 60 hours a week, and she is not hourly, of course. No, you're paid your salary. And I like to laugh at people who go, well, that's you chose to do that. No, nobody chose to work, an extra third of their working hours for free. Nobody chooses that. You wouldn't do that at your job. And yet it's just part of the deal.
And isn't there a lot going on over the summer anyways as far as career development?
there's career development, a lot of teachers teaching summer school. A lot of the teachers I know pick up tutoring gigs over the summer to make that money. So it's not. The other misconception is, at least, and I need to educate myself more on the pay system in Wisconsin. In Illinois, you're getting X amount yearly salary. Well, they just stretch that out over the 12 months, or combine it rather into the 9 months. So those 3 months you're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're getting the same, but you're just not getting paid. So what is the solution? How do we retain teachers? Well, according to the WEAC, which is the Wisconsin Education Association Council, which represents teachers, staff members, paraprofessionals, and the like, the first thing they say as their prescription for easing the crisis, you've got to fix teacher pay. They say create a Wisconsin starting teacher pay threshold of $50,000. Teachers with master's degrees and 20 years experience would earn $100,000. Multipliers and additives would be built into the system. So pay is always the big thing. And now you're more well-versed, Kristen, on Act 10, but that means that the teachers cannot strike, correct?
Well, what happened was, I mean, it ruined collective bargaining, and so the power as far as what they could bargain over, and that's not just teachers, right? This is also
employees.
Well, I mean, it also goes back to go back to what we were talking about with the correctional institutions. The only union that wasn't touched with Act 10 was police officers.
Okay,
and so the fact that part of the correctional officers. Understaffing of that is also tied back to Act 10. So teachers end up getting a lot of the what's the word that I want to talk about? Like the attention when we talk about Act 10, but it touched many professions. And so one of the other solutions that they threw out there that I always wonder who gets to be on the state health insurance plan. Because right now, teachers are not. So one of the solutions that the WEAC has put forward is guarantee health care. And so it includes public school employees in the state health plan to save districts resources and ensure that financial well-being of educators. Because you think about it, I always think about this as far as our lawmakers get state health insurance.
Yeah.
And which public employees get access to that and which ones don't.
Teachers definitely should. You would think. Then there's the free agent model so far in teaching. So if I start teaching at school X, I could jump right to school Y, or I could go district to district. So the WEAC is saying, hey, how about a bonus every 5 years? So if you stay and you're loyal to one public school district, you'll get a bonus of $7,000 every 5 years. So an automatic raise for longevity. And there's something to be said for teachers who stay at one place for a long time. It creates a different culture. They're great mentors for the younger teachers. If you have a family with multiple siblings, they're able to, guide somebody. Okay, we had so-and-so in our class. And, there's a lot of reasons for that. So good. That's a nice one.
And then educator effectiveness. So I guess part of the problem is there's the process for accurately assessing and improving teacher practice in our state. And so the solution they're putting forward is launching an examination of teacher evaluation laws in Wisconsin that includes collecting feedback from frontline educators about what the best practices are for identifying areas of improvement.
Well, and there's a few more, but two of the big ones are reducing class size. If you've ever been in front of 21 second graders, there's a big difference between 21 second graders, 30 second graders. And I know you're thinking, well, that's only a few kids. Few kids can make a huge difference. You also, the bigger your class size, the less time you as a teacher have to give individual help to the kids that need it. On the flip side, you're also less able to help the kids that are excelling, but, need a little guidance to take it to the next level. So we focus a lot on the children who are struggling, which we should, but we also then neglect sometimes the kids who are excelling because we're like, well, they don't need my help right now. I have to help this kid who doesn't know what a CH sounds like. And then increasing budget for student services. We've talked about behavior. We've talked about all different mental health issues in kids. You need to have more people in the schools who can deal with that. So those are all ways that they're proposing. They all make sense to me. Let's see. Somebody said, last one before we move on, you don't dare upset a parent even when kids are wrong. This person says, I have been a support staff person for over 25 years in a small southeastern Wisconsin town. Every district has issues with students and parent respect to all authority figures, and that is unfortunately very true. All right. We are going to be giving away another pair of tickets pretty soon.
All right.
All right. But
Get
first,
get that finger ready to dial.
Yes, it's Spanning the State.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this. Who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated? Might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the second floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gonna wish I had a storm warning. I'm gonna wish I had a sign. I'm gonna wish I had a little heads up, little leeway, a little more time. Or some kind of radar.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. We all saw the devastation of all the tornadoes that tore through Oklahoma and the Southern Plains this weekend. Tornado season has started in Wisconsin. Is this a harbinger of bad things? Tim Walbach is the National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist in Milwaukee, and he joins us now. Hi, Tim. Thanks for taking some time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so Wisconsin has already had 2 tornadoes this season. One very early. How unusual is it that we see 2 tornadoes in a year before May?
Yeah, not very often, particularly February. We haven't had anything like that on our record books going back to about 1950. This tornado in particular that went by Evansville is one of the stronger ones that we've seen anywhere in southern Wisconsin over the past 10 years or so. We've had a few other ones that have pushed up to the EF3 level, but not too often that you get it that early in the season to get the ingredients to come together like that. So not very often that we get it that early in the year.
Is there a chance that we're going to see more tornadoes this year?
Well, so we haven't even really gotten to what is our peak tornado season in Wisconsin. Typically, our hot season from like late May through June and July is typically when we see most tornadoes in the state. We typically get about 23 tornadoes, but most of those are on the weaker side, the EF0s and EF1s, which if you're in a shelter, you have a sturdy house, you're going to be fine. But we do occasionally get these EF2s and higher that if you're in a house and you're not in the shelter, then you might have some issues. So it's not very often that we get that, but it's something that we have to be prepared for.
Tim, when we see a system like we saw over the weekend ripping through Oklahoma, and I know that's Tornado Alley, but does that give you any more information to kind of predict what may be coming toward Wisconsin for the rest of the season?
Every weather scenario is a little bit different. So, like last year, we had a whole bunch of tornadoes at the end of March. We had a line that came through and a system that's pretty similar to what happened over the weekend. So we started off with all these tornadoes, and then we thought, well, maybe that's going to be a sign of what the rest of the year is going to be like. And then the rest of the summer really wasn't that bad. I think we only had one other very weak tornado that happened in September. So it doesn't really mean anything, but the outlooks that we're looking at is that things are going to stay warmer, that we're going to be on the warmer side of things, which means if we do have a big weather system come through, it raises our chances that we're going to potentially be in the right ingredients to have more severe weather. So, like I said, we're kind of at the beginning part of our season for where we even have anything like this happen. So just good to be prepared and ready for when those days come.
All right. Well, listen, Tim, we appreciate you touching base. We will definitely be talking again as the season gets going, but we just, after the last weekend, we just wanted to see if we were in store for that kind of stuff too. Yeah,
absolutely. And nothing on the horizon here over the next week or so, but as we get into June, keep paying attention.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Have a great afternoon. That's Tim Walbach, National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist in Milwaukee. Hey, State Fair much later than June, after the tornado season. You want to go? You want to be a VIP?
I mean, who doesn't want to be a VIP?
I always want to be a VIP. I want to be behind the velvet ropes. If you are caller number 5 to 855-616-1620, you are going to win 2 VIP tickets. They're on a private elevated tent. There's seating in the tent, a private bar for the people in there. Good parking spots within the first 3 rows of the grandstand entrance. Everything you need to enjoy TLC with Jordan Sparks on August 2nd. Oh, my goodness. You cannot believe that we're giving you these tickets, and yet we are because, well, we're good people here on Spanning the State.
Call now.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom! Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I can